If you've spent more than 10 minutes on business YouTube, you've heard the pitch. Buy a laundromat, they say. The machines do the work. The customers serve themselves. The quarters roll in while you sleep. It's the internet's favorite passive income business, the one every guru swears will pay your rent from a beach chair. Here's what's strange, though. While the internet fell in love with laundromats, the number of laundromats in America has been quietly shrinking for years. The people actually in the business have been selling. The people buying are often the ones who watched the videos. Somebody's wrong. Either thousands of retiring owners walked away from free money, or the passive income machine has some gears the gurus forgot to mention. Today, we're opening the books on the laundromat, what it really costs to buy one, where the money actually goes, the lease clause that can quietly own your entire business, and why the winners in this industry are doing the exact opposite of what the passive income crowd preaches. And at the end, like always, this business gets the stamp: clever, risky, or money pit. So, is a laundromat a clever investment? Let's open the books. First, let's be fair to the fantasy, because it isn't stupid. On paper, the laundromat is a beautiful machine. The customer does the labor. They load, they wash, they dry, they fold. You employ almost nobody. The product never goes out of style. Clothes have needed washing for all of human history, and the customer base is guaranteed. Roughly a third of American households rent, and millions of those apartments have no washer hookups at all. For those customers, the laundromat isn't optional. It's infrastructure. Demand is recession-proof. Laundry doesn't care about the stock market. The business is simple enough to explain to a child: machines in, quarters out. And margins, for a well-run store, are genuinely fat. 20 to 35% net, better than most restaurants could dream of. And there's one more charm the spreadsheet crowd loves. It's a cash business with no receivables. Nobody owes you money. Nobody disputes an invoice. The machine is paid before it spins. The customer literally funds the service in advance. In an age where every business chases payments for 90 days, the humble laundromat gets paid first, every time. Add it up and you can see why the gurus love the slide deck. Self-serve customers, essential demand, simple model, real margins, cash up front. Every word of that is true. And yet the industry has been shrinking, which tells you the interesting part of this business isn't in the slide deck. It's in everything the slide deck leaves out. Let's go find it. Start with the price of admission, because there are two doors, and they lead to very different places. Door 1, buy an existing laundromat. Depending on the market and the condition, anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Sounds accessible? This is the cheapest business we've judged so far. But understand what you're actually buying. Not real estate. In most cases, the building belongs to a landlord. Not brand, not contracts, not talent. You're buying a room full of aging machines and the hope that the customers keep coming. And machine age is everything. A commercial washer runs thousands of dollars. The big capacity front loaders can run 10, 15, 20,000 each, and they live maybe 10 to 14 years. A store with 30 machines that are all 11 years old isn't a business. It's a countdown. The seller knows the replacement cliff is coming. The question is whether you do, because re-equipping a whole store can cost as much as the store itself. Door 2, build new. Now you're buying everything at retail. Machines, plumbing for 40 water connections, gas lines, electrical service, ventilation, permits, and the total lands somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million plus. For a business with no memberships, no contracts, and customers loyal mostly to whoever is closest to their apartment. Here's the tell, though, and it echoes what we saw in storage. The smart money buys tired stores from burned-out owners, cheap, and modernizes. The naive money pays full price for the fantasy. In laundromats, more than any business we've covered, the entry price is the strategy. Now follow the money through one load of laundry. A wash costs the customer somewhere around $3 to $5. The dryer, a couple more. Call it $6 to $8 for a full cycle. Multiply by a store full of machines turning over a few times a day, and a decent location grosses somewhere in the low to mid hundreds of thousands a year. The very best stores, big, modern, busy, can do more than $500,000. But watch where the money goes on its way to your pocket. First stop, the utility meter. This is a business that sells hot water and hot air. Water, sewer, gas, and electricity routinely eat 15 to 25% of everything. The single biggest operating cost, and it runs whether the machines are full or empty. Old machines make it worse. An aging top loader drinks maybe twice the water of a modern front loader. Every year your equipment ages, your real landlord, the utility company, takes a bigger cut. Second stop, the actual landlord. Rent on a retail storefront, often another 15 to 25%. Third stop, everything the fantasy forgot. Machine repairs, constant, we'll get there. Insurance, card system fees, soap, cameras, trash, that one fluorescent light that's always dying. And if you're not personally mopping at midnight, payroll for an attendant. What's left in a well-run store is that 20 to 35% margin. Real, but earned. In a badly run store with old machines and a bad lease, the margin rounds to zero. The distance between those two stores is the entire game. Now the chapter the gurus skip. The lease. Remember, in most laundromats, you don't own the building, and this business has a property most businesses don't. It's bolted to the floor. 40 machines, industrial plumbing, gas lines, ventilation. You cannot pick up a laundromat and move it across the street. Once your equipment is in, you are, in the most literal sense, captive. Your landlord knows this, which is why the single most important document in this entire business isn't the profit and loss statement. It's the lease. How many years are left? What are the escalations? Who pays when the sewer line fails? Is there a demolition clause? The quiet little paragraph that lets a developer empty the building when the neighborhood gentrifies? Play it forward. You buy a thriving laundromat with 4 years left on the lease. Year 5, the landlord, who can see your coin counts as well as you can, raises the rent to whatever number captures your profit. Your options: pay it or abandon $500,000 of equipment bolted to his floor. That's not a negotiation. That's a hostage exchange. Storage owners have a rent escalator working for them. Their tenant's stuff is the hostage. The laundromat owner is on the other side of that trade. This time, your machines are the hostage, and the escalator is pointed at you. Same physics. Opposite end, experienced operators won't touch a store without a long lease. 15, 20 years with options. Or, better yet, they buy the building itself. The moment you own the dirt, the laundromat's biggest risk disappears, and you're back to the pattern this series keeps finding. The real business is the real estate. Next, the word passive. Let's test it. Machines that run 16 hours a day in a room full of lint, water, and coins do what machines do. They break. Bearings, belts, door locks, coin jams, card readers, dryer igniters. Every day of downtime on a big washer is real revenue lost. And unlike the car wash, there's no maintenance contract crew on site. There's you, a YouTube tutorial, and a parts catalog, or a repair tech at market rates. Then there's the room itself. A laundromat is an unstaffed public space, open early and late, full of cash and unattended clothing. Owners deal with everything that implies vandalism, break-ins targeting the coin boxes, machines abused, carts stolen, and the daily human complications of running the neighborhood's only heated room with free seating. Cameras help. Attendants help more. And there goes no employees. And the slow threat, the one that explains the shrinking store count, the customer base itself. Every new apartment building with in-unit washers deletes a block of your customers forever. Gentrification is a double thief. It raises your rent and removes your renters. A laundromat is a bet on a neighborhood staying exactly the way it is. And neighborhoods don't take that deal. And the phone. Ask any owner what passive means at 7 on a Sunday morning when the change machine ate someone's 20, or the dryer singed a stranger's favorite shirt, or the door didn't unlock at 6 because the timer glitched. The store may be self-serve, but the problems are full-serve, and they all escalate to exactly one person. You can hire that headache away with a manager and watch a meaningful slice of your margin walk out with it. None of this makes the business bad. It makes it a business, hands-on, mechanical, local. The owners who thrive treat it like one. The owners who bought a beach chair sell. usually to the next person who watched the video. So how do the winners actually play it? By doing the exact opposite of passive. The biggest lever is wash and fold. Customers drop a bag, or a driver picks it up, and the store washes, dries, and folds by the pound. Look at what that does to the model. The same machines, the same rent, the same utilities. Now earning 2 or 3 times more per load from customers who never touch a quarter. Add pickup and delivery through an app, and suddenly the sleepy coin laundry is a lightweight logistics business with subscription customers. The busiest modern stores make a third or more of their revenue this way. Some are drop-off only. Second lever, commercial accounts. Gyms, salons, spas, restaurants, motels, towels and linens on contract, washed overnight when the machines would otherwise sit idle. Recurring revenue, negotiated rates, 0 coins. Third, the remodel play. The same one we saw in storage. Buy the tired store cheap, put in modern machines that sip water instead of gulping it, add card payment and cameras and good lighting, reprice properly. And the store's utility bill drops, the revenue rises, and the business you built is worth double what you paid for the one you bought. Notice what all 3 levers have in common: labor, service, hustle. The winning laundromat is not a passive income machine. It's an active little service company that happens to contain washing machines. The industry's own numbers agree. The stores growing are the ones that stopped being coin rooms and started being laundry businesses. Let's run the honest numbers on the realistic play. Buying an existing store. Say you find a decent laundromat for $250,000, machines midlife, lease with 12 years of runway, in a renter-heavy neighborhood. It grosses around $300,000 a year. Where does it go? Utilities take maybe $60,000. Rent, another $55,000. Repairs, insurance, supplies, card fees, an attendant part-time, call it another $65,000. You're left with roughly $120,000 in owner earnings, before debt, for a store you actively manage. Finance half the purchase and the bank takes its slice. You're netting perhaps $90,000 to $100,000. As a return on capital, that's genuinely strong. Far better per dollar invested than the car wash or the storage facility. But look at what the number depends on. It assumes the lease doesn't reset against you. It assumes the machines don't hit their replacement cliff. Remember, re-equipping can cost $250,000, a second purchase hiding inside the first. It assumes the neighborhood keeps renting, and it assumes your labor, the midnight repairs, the wash and fold shifts, the coin runs, is free, because we just paid you nothing for any of it. Price in a machine fund, price in your hours, stress test the lease, and the passive beach chair number quietly becomes a modest small business salary. A real one, but earned with a wrench in your hand. So is a laundromat a clever investment? Time for the stamp. And for the first time in this series, it's not green. For the hands-on operator who buys a tired store cheap, negotiates a long lease, or buys the building, modernizes the machines, and builds wash and fold into a real service business, this can absolutely work. That specific person running that specific play earns a clever. But that's not the question, is it? The question the internet keeps answering wrong is whether a laundromat is a passive income machine. And on the claim, the books say no. Short lease, old machines, utility creep, a shrinking customer base, and every passive dollar secretly funded by your own unpaid labor. Buy the fantasy at full price and you haven't bought an income stream. You've bought yourself a job with a mortgage. The verdict, risky. The most oversold business on the internet, clever only for the people who ignore the sales pitch. And honestly, that's the pattern 3 videos in. The boring business nobody promotes. Storage earned the cleanest stamp, and the business everyone promotes earns the warning label. The hype is the risk. Think the stamp is wrong? If you own a laundromat, I especially want to hear from you. Make your case in the comments. If this saved you from a bad deal, subscribe. One business every video, books wide open, verdict stamped, and next time we go smaller than we've ever gone. A business you can allegedly start for a few $1,000s that the same gurus swear is a money printer. Is a vending machine route a clever investment?